Takes three, and he drains it. Huge shot from the freshman.
Over to Zach. Three on the way. Twice!
High school basketball on Indiana SRN. Brought to you by Atlas Excavating, Amazing Drywall, The Freemasons, Brass Tacks and Accounting, Brick House Coffee Roasters, Bertner Electric, Horizon University, Kim Mountain Pest Control, The Life Centers, McIntyre Imaging, Ray Marketing, and Shin Technology. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org or at our Twitter @IndianaSRN. High school basketball on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. Now let's go down to the court and listen to the two guys that are bringing you high school basketball on Indiana SRN.
Welcome in to Indianapolis Shortridge High School. Craig Collins alongside Chris Simmons for tonight's boys varsity contest. Pioneer Conference play tonight on Indiana SRN as Indianapolis Shortridge hosts the Central Christian Chargers. Coming into this game tonight, it's going to be a fun one. You've got Central Christian, who is 6-4 against Indianapolis Shortridge, who is 2-9 in the series over the last 35 years. Central Christian leads the series 6-4. Each team has won games in 3-game runs. It's been kind of interesting. From 2011 to 2012, Central Christian won 3 games. Then Shortridge won 3 games from 2013 to 2015. And then from 2016 to 2018, Central Christian won 3 games as well. So it just kind of goes back and forth. Indianapolis Shortridge won last year's meeting by a final score of 63-52. Central Christian, like I said, had won the previous 3 meetings. But what's kind of interesting to point out from those games is that a lot of the players in that game last year were seniors. So some new faces tonight on the court for both teams. So that should be something that we'll have to see both teams kind of try to get over. So an obstacle for them to get over is the fact that they've all season they've been dealing with new faces in this lineup. So as we kind of gel and get closer and closer to tournament play, we'll see how that is all coming together.
Yeah, we're kind of getting right to about that time where I think you kind of know what your team's going to be the rest of the year. Right. If you're Central Christian, you come into this one 6-4. They've had kind of an up and down year. At no point have they won or lost more than 2 games in a row. So it seems kind of every time that they take that 2 steps forward, they take a step back. But on the other side of that, every time that they lose a couple, they're at least able to limit the damage and get a win to stay right around that 500 mark. And, as you mentioned, you're right. There was a lot of seniors, especially on that Central Christian team last year, that aren't here anymore. So, we've had the pleasure of calling a couple of Central Christian games already this year. We've seen them in action. So, and I think the more we see them, I honestly think the better and better they look. I believe the last time we saw them was, when they were on the road at Providence Cristo Rey. And, that undefeated team at the time, they were 6-0. And even that, at one point looked like that was going to be a blowout game, and Central Christian just kind of hung tough, and they were able to really make that a much closer game than it appeared it was going to be. So this is a really good Central Christian team led by a couple of key players.
You're listening to the College Hunks and Movers pregame show. We can move anything, anytime. Call 317-739-4262. Also, we're looking for some friends. Like us on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page at Indiana Sports Radio Network. Like us. You'll be glad you did. Let's first look at the visiting Central Christian Chargers from the Pioneer Conference. They are 1-1, second in the south side of that Division I position in front of Shortridge, who's also 1-1. Per game this season, they've averaged 65 points per game, allowing 55 per game. During the 2019-20 season, like I said, they're 6-4. They got off to a 3-1 start, but they are 3-3 since then. They are on a 2-game winning streak. During that 3-1 start, they averaged 63 points per game, allowed 50 points per game. Their opponent's record was 19-13, but then they started playing some tougher opponents. Their opponents' records got a little bit better. Since then, like I said, 3-3, 67 points. So they're averaging about the same amount of points, but they're allowing 58. So they're playing those tougher teams who are scoring more against them. So they've kind of hit a rough patch here, but that 2-game winning streak, they're starting to turn things around in the right direction.
Yeah, they really are. So if you take those 2 games out, they were right at 4-4. They're right at 500, and now they've kind of made a little bit of space from that 500 mark with those 2 wins. And so Central Christian just looks pretty good coming into this one, but it's really important, I believe, for them not to overlook this Shortridge team, because I think it's really easy to do that, especially if you just look at their win-loss record. They're 2-9 on the year so far. So when you're facing a team, like that, it's kind of easy to say, we'll probably have this one. We're probably okay. But sometimes the most dangerous team is a team that's on a losing streak and really doesn't have anything. They're going to throw everything at you. So I'm really curious to see how this one starts. I think the first quarter is going to be pretty key in this game.
Looking at some key players for tonight's game, you've got Travion Jackson, who's played really well. And he was ready for this game. He was, we had a couple of tweets sent out at Indiana SRN on Twitter, and of course we were retweeting and that kind of thing. And he responded to the tweet. He's like, "Hey, make sure you tune in." So he's ready to have a big game tonight. You get Tanner Royer and Caleb Vonderheide were the key contributors who are returning this season from last season's game against Indianapolis Shortridge. And then you've also got Elijah Mattingly, who averages 10 points a game as well. So you've got some talent on that Central Christian team who have been key in getting this team back on the right track.
Yeah, those are the four guys I think to mention, and it's really nice if you look at the per game numbers for them, and I will make a note, it is limited numbers that we were able to pull from Max Preps, but all four of those guys that you mentioned are averaging double-digit points. Travion Jackson actually just over the 20-point mark. He's at 20.8 points per game. Tanner Royer is at 11, Elijah Mattingly at 10, and Caleb Vonderheide right there as well at 9.7. So those four guys are going to be your key offensive pieces. And what's nice about having it spread out like that is you've got guys that are going to score a lot of different ways. You have a couple of guys that are big, and they'll go inside, and they're not afraid to post up right about that elbow and inside the painted area and score inside. And you also have guys that aren't afraid to pull from three. So I think Shortridge is going to kind of have their hands full here trying to cover all four of those guys, because this is a team, this Chargers team, that will space you out, spread you out, and can hurt you from a lot of different ways, and a lot of different players can step up here.
Now looking at Indianapolis Shortridge, they are 1-1 in the Pioneer Conference as well, third in that south side of the conference. This season they are 2-9, started 2-2 actually, but then are currently on a 7-game losing streak. It's the fourth time in 5 seasons they've had a losing streak of 7 or more. Per game this season, 48 points is what they average per game. They allow 63 points per game in those first 4 games. They were 2-2, and they scored 49-plus in 3 games. Last 7, though, they are 0-7, and they've scored 49-plus in 2 games. So when they've struggled to kind of get around that 50-point mark, they've really struggled, and it's really shown during this losing streak. So if they can get the offense going, they might have a shot to knock off Central Christian.
Yeah, but I think part of why I think we need to not overlook Shortridge and just kind of count them off as a 2-9 team. And yeah, they're on the 7-game losing streak, and as you mentioned, they kind of go on one of these streaks once, seems to be every year. If you look at their opponent's win-loss record, it is 80-37. Shortridge's opponents have won 80 of 117 games that they have played this year. That's a 68% winning percentage. So they are facing really tough opponents 11 games into the year so far. And so I think that's contributed to, their record so far. So just don't overlook them.
We will be right back after this commercial break. We are going to have Shortridge and Central Christian right after this. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
Indiana SRN wants to thank all of our brave soldiers, sailors, and airmen for their dedication, service, and sacrifice for defending our freedoms and way of life. Indiana SRN wants to thank you for serving our country and risking your lives for our freedoms. May God guide and protect you in all that you do for our families. Stay strong and know we are praying and thinking of you all every day. God bless our military and the United States of America.
Welcome to Scott's Daily Word with Pastor Scott Longyear. Each day, we focus on what God has to say to us through one single word.
Here's our word for today, the word investment. And I don't want to think of it in terms of financial investment, but think about it in terms of time investment. Are the things that you're doing having an investment in a great future? And John chapter 5 in verse 27 says this, "Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life." What the author is saying there is, don't invest yourself for food that just spoils, but invest yourself for things that endure to eternal life. Are the things that you'll do today, do they have an investment in the future? Do they have an investment in eternity? Are you helping people on their walk with Christ? Are you investing into your kids in terms of their spiritual walk? Make great investments that have spiritual dividends.
This broadcast is for the entertainment of our radio listening audience. Any rebroadcast of Indiana SRN sports without the express written consent of Sports Radio Network is prohibited. The announcers of these games are selected by Indiana SRN. If you have any questions about Indiana SRN or like to underwrite a sporting event, you may contact Mr. Wizard at jerry@indianasrn.org.
Hi, everybody. It's Bob Lovell, and you're listening to the Game of the Week on Indiana SRN. And don't forget to tune in to Indiana Sports Talk right after the game. And also, don't forget to go to indianasportstalk.com to find the affiliate in your area.
You're listening to Indiana SRN.
So you called us because you're stressed from all that clutter taking up your space. The best part is we do all the heavy lifting for you, so you can just sit back and relax. Our hunks call at least 20 to 30 minutes prior to your appointment window. You don't need to lift a finger except to point what items you would like us to haul away. Thanks again for choosing College Hunks Hauling Junk, and we look forward to providing you with a stress-free hauling experience.
You're listening to IndianaSRN.org.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back at Indianapolis Shortridge as we get ready for the contest between Central Christian and the Indianapolis Shortridge Blue Devils. We are just getting ready to get the game underway. Let's go ahead and get those starting lineups to you as they are announcing them to the crowd now. First, for the visiting Central Christian Chargers, the starting lineup looks like this. Number 11, Travion Jackson. Number 15, Elijah Lucas. Number 22, Tanner Royer. Number 25, Caleb Vonderheide. And number 44, Elijah Mattingly. For the Blue Devils, it's going to be Avery Giles. Number 12, Ethan Powell. Number 20, Willie Mitchell. Number 24, Alex Ogden. And number 42, Jalen Molinax. Central Christian in their red road jerseys, blue numbers, blue trim. Indianapolis Shortridge with white jerseys, blue pants, and blue trim. Interesting jerseys, gold numbers on the back. I kind of like them. Look a little bit retro there. And the ball in the air, it's going to be controlled by Indianapolis Shortridge, and we are underway in this Pioneer Conference matchup between the Blue Devils and the Chargers. Pass down low. It's going to get knocked away by Vonderheide. It's going to stay with the Blue Devils as that was good defense as they tried to pass it down low. Shortridge did, but Vonderheide would not let that fly. Pass in to Molinax. Molinax looking for some sort of movement offensively as now the ball is going to be controlled by Willie Mitchell up on the top of the key. He works it around the perimeter, drives inside, gets a good look. They're going to call off the shot and say he was fouled. So good job by Mitchell to try to drive inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, did a great job, not afraid of the contact there, and was able to create that separation as well as getting fouled as the ball goes over the midline. But they're able to save it as it goes over the half-court line.
Mitchell is able to knock it off the foot of Vonderheide, so the ball will stay with Shortridge. It looked like Mitchell was pretty much on, like maybe on the inline or starting to go out of bounds, but able to save it for the Blue Devils. Here's Mullinax getting it over to Giles as Shortridge nearly loses the ball there. They'll retain possession, trying to get something offensively. Central Christian still has not had a chance on offense here, as the pass is going to go out to Ogden. Ogden gets it over to Giles. Giles is going to try to drive, but they are going to get the offensive foul on Shortridge, and Central Christian will have a chance to possess the ball nearly a minute into this basketball game.
Yeah, that's just as easy of a call as you're going to see. It's an illegal screen. Set it up at the top of the three-point line, trying to get his guard some space.
Here's Jackson driving into the lane, takes it right to the basket. Ball's going to go off the backboard, off the front of the rim, and rim out. So on the rebound, it's going to get knocked out of bounds by Shortridge, and Central will retain possession. Vonderheide with the ball down low, gets it over to Royer. Royer over to Jackson. Jackson thought about taking a three, thinks better of it, gets it over to Mattingly. Now to Lucas. Royer's going to pop the three. It's going to go off the side of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Shortridge. And here come the Blue Devils the other way. They've got numbers. Here goes Giles to the hoop. He's going to get fouled as he had his shot blocked, but I believe he was fouled on his way to the basket, and that is what they are going to call.
Yeah, but, if you're Central Christian in transition, that's what you have to do. I like the mentality of not giving up the easy layup. Make him earn it at the line.
Foul is on Vonderheide. Here is the free throw from Giles. He connects. That's our first point in this basketball game, as it's now 1-0 Shortridge. Giles will get one more opportunity here. Shot is up, and it is good. So with 6:35 to play here in the first quarter, it's Indianapolis Shortridge 2, Central Christian nothing, as the Chargers are able to beat the press. They get it over to Lucas, who shoots the two, connects, and this game is tied. Oh, they are going to call that a three then. So a three ball from Elijah Lucas, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, that's the best way to beat a press by that, is get it. And they did just change it back to a 2.
Yeah, scoreboard now reflecting 2-2, and there was a travel there from Ethan Powell. Ball goes free, so it's gonna be 3-2. That's what we've settled on now. They've changed the scoreboard again. Meanwhile, trying to drive inside is Mullinax. Long pass.
Whoa.
And here's the three attempt. It's going to miss. No good. Rebounded by Royer. It was a cross-court pass from Mitchell. Here's Mattingly on the other side. Three ball drains it. What a good shot from Elijah Mattingly. It goes through the iron.
That was just so smooth. It didn't touch anything but the very bottom of the net. Not even just net, the literal bottom of the net. It was so smooth, so pure, and I think he knew it was in once he released it.
6-2 our score here from Indianapolis Shortridge. Here it goes. Driving the lane is Powell. He's going to have 2 points. Long pass to the other end. Lucas, he's going to get the bucket and the foul. Both teams a fan of these long passes down the court.
That's just great recognition on the outlet pass in transition. Number 15 got down there, and was ready to, receive that pass, and then the spot on the dime, able to absorb the contact, hit the shot, and go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Lucas's free throw is no good. Rebounded by Mitchell. Mitchell's going to pass it over to Giles. Giles thought about a three, pulls it back down, gets it back over to Mitchell. Mitchell driving inside, and we're going to get a foul on Royer, it looks like. It's his second foul of the night. We have some substitutions into this game now as Jason McCrory into the ball game for Central Christian. Also, we have a number 31 in for Shortridge, who is not on the roster we have.
Whoa.
As the ball will go out of bounds by Shortridge, it'll stay, off of Central Christian, it will stay with Shortridge.
Yeah, it was Travion Jackson recognized the pass was coming and just leapt over everybody and swatted it away like a defensive back.
Pass inside is going to go off the rim, as going up with the shot was Alex Ogden. Here goes Mattingly for three. Off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by number 31. He's going to try to get the pass out, and we are going to get a foul. Jason McCrory with the foul for Central Christian. As Central Christian with 4 fouls already. 4:32 to play here in quarter number 1. And it is 8-4 Central Christian over Indianapolis Shortridge. Giles over to Powell. Powell to Ogden. Ogden driving down. Back to Mitchell, who's going to take the three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jackson. A scary collision with Powell there as they were both going for the ball. Both are okay. And Central Christian will have the basketball.
Yeah, that's one of those collisions that, always makes you hold your breath for either side because both players just kind of looking up to the sky for that ball and then just colliding into each other. Neither is able to brace themselves for that impact.
Jackson with the basketball now. He's going to drive inside, pop up at the free throw line. The shot is no good. McCrory tries to get the rebound. Travion able to save it. Here's Mattingly, not too shy about the three attempt. Passes it over to Jackson, who shoots the three and makes it. Travion Jackson, the third Charger to hit a three in this basketball game. And it's 11-4 right now. Timeout called, a 30-second timeout by Indianapolis Shortridge. We'll take that time to remind you to not miss a game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Rewatch the big game as many times as you want. Our YouTube channel is Indiana SRN. You'll be able to see it because we've got all the thumbnails with all the logos. Make sure, as someone who also amateurly posts to YouTube, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get a notification every time a game goes live. Also, make sure you like the video as well, because if you like the video, it's a good impression, or dislike the video. I'm in a few YouTube groups. All impressions are good impressions. So even if you don't like it, hitting that dislike button gives us more feedback and more analytics. So do what you will. We appreciate any feedback we can get.
Is that the old adage, any publicity is good publicity?
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's Mitchell at the top of the key, gets it over to number 31, who's going to drain the two. 2 points for him on the game. Long pass over to Lucas. Lucas gets it out to Mattingly, who looks like every time he gets the ball, he wants to pop up for three. Pass back over to Lucas. Now back to Mattingly, who's going to drive down this time. Pop up with a shot. No good. Off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Shortridge. And here come the Blue Devils back the other way. Powell's going to drive it inside. A nice move to get inside, but he can't connect on the basket. Rebounded by Vonderheide. Vonderheide back to Lucas. As Central Christian trying to work it around the perimeter. We are going to get a travel here by Lucas. So it will go back in the direction of Indianapolis Shortridge. 11-6 Central Christian with 2:55 to go here in this first quarter of this Pioneer Conference matchup. Here comes Powell, gets it over to 31, has the shot blocked. Here's Mitchell. Thought about popping up with a shot. He's going to get it over to Powell instead. Mitchell back with the basketball down low to 31, who's going to go off the rim. No good. Ball batted around a little bit, now recovered by McCrory.
It was great interior passing, just unable to hit the shot, but you want that look every time down the floor if you can get it.
Mattingly, the long three, no good. Off the side of the rim. Here comes Giles back to the way. Nice pass down low to Powell. Nice, another good pass as Ogden and Mattingly get tangled up. No call there. Long three from Giles off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Vonderheide. Here come the Chargers back the other way. McCrory over to Travion Jackson as the offense resets. Pass now to Lucas as the Chargers will kind of take a breath, reset the offense, and try to get something going here with just under 2 minutes to play. Clutching to that 5-point lead. Jackson pops up and drains the two-pointer. It's now 13-6.
That's just a confident shot from Travion Jackson. It was really good defense. There was somebody in his face contesting that shot, but when you know where your spots are and you're that confident in your shot, that shot's going to go down more often than not.
Indianapolis Shortridge on the other end. Ogden over to Mitchell. The ball's going to be stolen away by Mattingly. A lazy pass from Ogden. It's going to go back the other way. Mattingly is going to connect on the two-point shot.
Mattingly just jumped the passing lane there, and he is long. He is a tall, lanky kid. Used that length to kind of poke that one free, and then went coast to coast.
Caleb Vonderheide gets a little bit too eager, tries to steal the ball away from Mitchell. He's going to be called for the reach-in foul instead. Into the basketball game is going to be Jaden Brookins as he subs in for Avery Giles. Also subbing into the basketball game, number 24, Caleb Chambers for Central Christian. Coach Bobby Brown on the sideline for the Chargers. 366 wins all time, 32 is where he ranks among active coaches. Here's Ogden down low, passing it over to number 31, who's off the back of the glass and good. And that is Will Smith. So Will Smith is number 34, not 32 as it is on our roster. So he has 4 points on the night. Here comes Mattingly, goes hard into the lane, then passes it out to Lucas. Nearly had an errant pass there, but now the basketball will go to Travion Jackson, who flirts with that center court line. Now gets it over to Mattingly. We now have 25 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. Mattingly now with the basketball, as it looks like the Chargers will just play for that final shot of the quarter, holding on to that 15-8 lead. Here goes Jackson now driving inside. He's going to pass to wide open Mattingly for 3. Got it. A good shot by Elijah Mattingly. And here comes the shot at the end of the quarter. It's not going to count even if it goes. And at the end of the first quarter of play, it's 18-8. Central Christian on top of Indianapolis Shortridge. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory. Thousands of people get jobs here from all of these diverse backgrounds. We're helping write that story of that better future that we know they can get, we know that they deserve.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
You're listening to Indiana SRN, home for God's Word 24/7 and sports.
That first quarter brought to you by Piper Logistics, a complete logistics solution for both us and international business. Call 317-396-3916 as we head into the Burtner Electric second quarter. No project too small to call today for service. As Travion Jackson for 3, he's going to miss it. Rebounded by number 13, newly into the basketball game, Craig Glazier. And we are going to get a foul here. But call 317-773-7663 for Burtner Electric. Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back at Indianapolis Shortridge, where Central Christian has the 18-8 lead over Indianapolis Shortridge. Craig Glazier at the line for the Chargers. His shot is up, and it is good. And I believe that was a two-pointer on the shot attempt that Elijah Lucas took, or Travion Jackson took. Second shot from Glazier up, off the front of the rim, no good. We're going to get a lane violation by Shortridge. I feel like I've seen a lot more of those this season, excuse me, than I have in other seasons.
Yeah, guys just antsy, trying to get that rebound, trying to spark something, especially for Shortridge. They're down 11 here. They just want to get something to go their way here as we start the second quarter.
Free throw from Glazier is good, so they do make the Blue Devils pay for that one, as it is now 20-8. Central Christian on top. Brookins with the basketball. Going to get it over to Giles. And they're going to get Giles for the over and back. Stepped right on that center court line. Coach Jeff Strange not happy about the call. And he is letting the officiating crew know about it. As Central Christian will get the basketball back. Jackson driving inside, passes it out to Royer. Royer for three, off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Giles, who nice pass through to number 23. That was Josh Strigger newly into the ball game. No good on the shot, though. Central Christian has the basketball back, nearly has it stripped. Would have been a nice pickpocket if it had stood.
Yeah, but on
by
that,
Willie Mitchell.
On that shot, it was just no control. That was I think that's why he missed that shot. He went up, he caught it, and just kind of had it, kind of tucked and just couldn't get it off clean, and that's why it was strong off the backboard.
Ball goes right through the hands of Tanner Royer on that pass from Travion Jackson. Shortridge will get the basketball back. 6:54 to play here in the second quarter. 20-8, Central Christian with the lead.
Darn! I tried to catch it at 6:52 and be like, now it's 6:52.
Now it's 6:52.
But I missed
Actually,
it.
it's probably like 7:20, right? I mean, o'clock.
7:45.
Same difference. Here comes Central Christian back the other way. Tanner Royer with the basketball over to Elijah Lucas. Shows how smart I am. I mean, we went on the air at 7:30.
Right.
It was a two-pointer. Elijah Lucas over to Tanner Royer. Royer driving inside, back to Lucas, who takes the three.
Sure.
It does not connect. Rebounded by Jaden Brookins. As Shortridge, they like to run that up-tempo quickly back up the court. As now it's Ogden with the basketball. And Ogden will drive in and get fouled. Alex Ogden, really the only contributor from last year's game to be in this year's game, had 6 points, and I believe had 3 rebounds in that game last season. The only non-senior on the stat sheet. So Ogden will go to the free throw line. First shot is up, and it is good. So Alex Ogden puts his name in the stat sheet for the second year in a row in this basketball game. 6:03 to play here in the second quarter. Second shot up and good, as now the lead is 10 for Central Christian. Here comes Royer. His shot is up and good. A nice move to go inside and connect for his first basket of the game. And it's now a 12-point lead for Central Christian yet again. Here's Mitchell, thought about it. Now gets it over to Ogden, who drives inside. Nice shot off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Central Christian, but they're not able to handle it. It goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Indianapolis Shortridge.
Yeah, just a great job there by Ogden following the shot and, contesting that rebound, basically not giving up. Because if he, hadn't contested it, it would have been a defensive rebound, and Central Christian's ball, as it stands, it's back to Shortridge.
Mitchell on the baseline, gets it back out to Ogden, who's got a wide open three, and he drains it. A good shot by Alex Ogden, and that three makes him the leading scorer for the Blue Devils now, as the lead is now within 10 for Shortridge as they try to claw back Central Christian with a 9-point lead.
Yeah, and you can feel Shortridge kind of clawing themselves back into this game. You can feel, like you mentioned, the tempo has been picked up by them. They like to run that, but they're shooting and they're playing with a little more confidence than they did in that first quarter.
Pass to Elijah Lucas is Aaron. He's able to retain possession. Gets it down to Glazier. Glazier, nice pass down low to Royer, and he connects.
Wow, what a pass. That's just excellent court vision there. Seeing Royer cut late as he was in the air, he was able to kind of just force that one really past the defender and right into the waiting arms of Royer.
Brookins driving in. Mattingly's going to swat that away. It goes out of bounds. The only thing that would have made that any better is the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. As Elijah Mattingly says, not in this house, you won't.
But yeah, right as Shortridge, starts climbing back into it, Central Christian makes a couple plays to kind of take some of that momentum right back. A block is usually a really, eye-opening kind of play, and it really electrifies your team.
Here's Ogden finding Giles down low. A nice pass. It's going to be knocked away by Lucas. It's going to go out of bounds, however, so Shortridge will retain possession. So Shortridge has had a lot of second chances on a lot of these possessions where Central Christian is just really not let them have what they want to have on this side of the court.
Yeah, Central Christian done a great job defensively, especially as you mentioned, on those second chance opportunities. They're not panicking. They're not getting out of their space. But eventually you'd like to think that maybe that would come back and haunt them. They need to start gathering these defensive rebounds.
Ogden is able to connect on his shot in the lane. It's good. He's got 7. Hadn't had a point until this quarter, and all of a sudden he is the leader for the Blue Devils. Mattingly with the basketball out to Royer. Back now to Mattingly, who likes those long threes. He takes another one off the side of the rim. No good. Here comes Mitchell passing it a long pass down to number 23, who misses that shot. That was Josh Striger who missed that shot there. Travion Jackson now with the basketball, driving inside. He's going to be fouled. Shot is no good. They are going to call it a foul on the floor. Back into the basketball game is Will Smith, who has 4 points on the night. They will send Royer to the line. Not Royer, Jackson.
Yeah, I was surprised that they looked like they were calling that one on the floor. It looked like the contact came, obviously as he was in his shooting motion or in the whatever process of the shooting motion you want to say, but he was definitely, I felt, going to the basket.
Jackson shot up, and it is good. So he'll get another opportunity to shoot a free throw here. 6 points on the night for Travion Jackson. As the lead back up to 10 for Central Christian. Shot is up and good. 7 points for Travion Jackson. 26-15, Central Christian on top of Indianapolis Shortridge with 3:50 to play here in the second quarter. As the inbound will go to Jaden Brookins. He brings the basketball up the court for Shortridge. Shortridge working around the outside, trying to make a move. Nice crossover. Gets it down to Smith. Smith finds Brookins again, who pops up for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Royer, who gets it over to Vonderheide.
Man, the basketball god should have given him that one. Oh, wow.
Vanderheide drives the ball inside. Gets the ball up off the glass, fouled while doing so. The shot connects, and he will get a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Vonderheide, one of those bigger guys that we talked about in the pregame, and he is a bigger body that's not afraid of contact and not afraid of being in the post or in the painted area. And exactly what he did there is exactly what you expect, just driving, absorbing that contact, going to the rim, and finishing.
Shot for Vonderheide off the back of the rim, too strong. And here come the Blue Devils the other way. Here's Brookins over to Giles, who's open for 3. Off the rim, no good. Nearly rebounded by Smith, but a good job by Glazier to knock it away. Glazier tries to save it, but he's unable to. It'll stay with Shortridge. Good hustle by Glazier. Just wasn't able to save the ball as he was about 3 or 4 feet out of bounds, had his hands on the ball, threw it straight down, trying to save it, but it still landed out of bounds. Here's Brookins on the outside for Shortridge, drives it down inside, up off the glass, and good. The first points for Jaden Brookins. And we are going to get a foul here on Avery Giles, it looks like. Didn't see exactly what drew the foul there.
I didn't either.
Must have been a little bit further up the court. Meanwhile, though, here's Central Christian, who beats the press, drives down, is Royer. Royer misses his first shot initially, gets the rebound, gets it over to Glazier, who gets it back to Mattingly for 3, drains it. Elijah Mattingly, his third 3 of the game, gets him to double digits, the first player on the court to reach that mark in this game. And it's 31-17, Central Christian over Shortridge with 2:35 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Mattingly just not afraid to pull the trigger from deep. We saw, he missed a couple in a row, but when you're a shooter like that, you just keep shooting when you get your opportunities.
Here's Brookins on the outside, trying to find somewhere to drive. He's going to get it over to Striger. Striger with the basketball in the lane, has it swatted away by Mattingly. Travion Jackson in the right place to get the ball back as the ball was freed up. He's able to go down all the way down the court. He gets fouled on the shot attempt. The foul on Avery Giles, and Travion Jackson will go to the line.
Yeah, Elijah Mattingly more and more is just looking like one of those prototypical, 3-and-D players that the NBA is adjusting to and learning to love, where, on the offensive end, he's a three-point marksman, but on defensive end, he is still long enough to contest shots, block shots, and make life hard for, the offense when he's on the defensive end as well.
Jackson misses the first free throw, has now an opportunity to connect on the second free throw. Shot is up, and it is good. (32-17) with 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Here's Will Smith in the corner. Gets it out to Strigger. Strigger back over to Giles. Good ball movement by Shortridge. Here's Strigger for three. Connects.
Splash. What a shot.
So Strigger, his first points of the game. As both teams have not been afraid to shoot the three tonight. As Travion Jackson loses the handle on the basketball, Avery Giles in the right place now has the basketball. He's going to just come down the court and pop up for three, and he drains one of his own. 5 points for Avery Giles as he decided, hey, I can't really get anything inside that I want. Let me just go ahead and pop up for three. He hits it and cuts the lead back to within 10. Mattingly now with the long three of his own off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Ogden. Here comes Shortridge back the other way. Here's Brookins, who's going to take another quick three off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Strigger. Ogden has it. Now back to Strigger, who's going to pop up for three again. No good there. Travion Jackson gets the rebound. He drives inside, nearly loses possession of the basketball, but he's going to keep it. Drive inside, kicks it back to Glazier, who shoots a three. In and out of the rim, no good. And Brookins is going to go for the rebound and get fouled while doing so. Just a reminder, keep up to date on everything Indiana SRN. Tweet us at Indiana SRN. 43 seconds to play here in the first half. 32-23, Central Christian on top of Shortridge. Although Jaden Brookins is at the line for free throws and have a chance to cut into this lead even more as he connects on the first free throw. Up to 3 points on the night for Brookins. Back into the basketball game is Central Christian. Elijah Lucas. As I believe they were called for a lane violation for Shortridge there.
That's something you don't see too often. Even though we've seen more lane violations, you're not seeing it usually for the team that's shooting free throws.
30 seconds in this first half remaining. Mattingly drives it inside, and he just cannot miss. Floats it up in the lane. He connects. It's good. 13 points on the night already for Mattingly. As this first half winds down. Giles driving inside, gets it out to Brookins. Brookins over to Strigger. Back to Brookins. 3 seconds. They got to be quick about this one. Giles for three at the buzzer. No good. And that is how the first half will conclude. Heading into the Giacomo's Pizza halftime show, it's Central Christian 34, Indianapolis Shortridge 24. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
It is halftime at your game. It's time for the Basketball Central, and it's time for the Full Court Press. And Ben Wood joins us. Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. It's time for the top 10, and I tell you what, a lot of action this week, and maybe a lot of movement after this week because a lot of head-to-head competition.
Yeah, it seems like there's some really good matchups within that top 10. And also over the last week, there was a few good games that went into overtime, so it kind of shakes things up a little bit, but for the most part, everything's still looking the same in the top 10.
Let's look at 10 through 6.
All right, so at number 10, I have Westfield. They were higher up last week, but they lost to Carmel, so they're sitting at 8-1. They've got a tough schedule. They play Lafayette Jeff this week, who is sitting at 12-1 on the year. And then at number 9, it's Addicts. They've been hanging around the back end of the top 10 for pretty much the whole season. They're sitting at 9-3, still led by Sincere McMahon, who's averaging 25 points per game. And then at number 8, Cathedral, kind of in a similar spot, sitting at 9-2. They do have the best offense in the Indy area, though, averaging 78 points per game. They're going to play Carmel this week, who sits at 7-3. And then I've got a new team up here in the top 10. At number 7, it's Pike, coming in at 9-2. They've had some good wins over the last few weeks, and they've also got a very high Sagarin rating in the top 5. But they're going to play Warren Central in the opening game of the Marion County tournament, so that's going to be a good test for them. And then at number 6, I've got Fishers. They were sitting at 12-0 heading into last week, but coming off of 2 losses now to Lafayette Jeff in overtime and to Pike, that moved them down to number 6.
And we'll have 5 through 1 right after this. You're listening to Halftime on Indiana SRN.
Giacomo Upper Crust Pizza is a proud sponsor on IndianaSRN.org. Giacomo's 3 locations and convenient hours make it the place to eat before your Friday night game. Come grab a bite in historic Irvington, Old Town Greenwood, or Lawrence, Indiana. They are open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And their menu features delicious pizzas, succulent sandwiches, and fresh garden salads. Be sure to follow them on Twitter at Giacomo Pizza. Giacomo Upper Crust Pizza, proud sponsor of high school sports and Indiana SRN.
If you just joined us, it is halftime. You just missed 10 through 6. Let me review real quick. Westfield, number 10. Addicts, number 9. Cathedral, number 8. Pike, number 7. Fishers, number 6. Ben Wood does the top 10 for us every week. What do you have 5 through 1?
Number 5, we've got the smallest school in our top 10, Greenwood Christian. They're sitting at number 2 in 1A. Johnny Marlin's team is going to be playing in the Johnson County tournament, and they've got a good shot at getting to that championship game, likely a matchup against Center Grove. And then number 4, we have Warren Central. They're at 8-2. They lost in a big game in overtime to Lawrence North, 55-59, and they also lost the next night to Hamilton Southeastern. So they're going to be heading into the Marion County tournament, looking to get back in the win column, but they have won the last 2 Marion County tournaments, so give them a good shot at getting there again this season. And then at number 3, it's Brownsburg. They're sitting at number 7 in 4A, but right now they're at 11-1. And they were able to win their last 2 games without their star player, Malik Edmonds, who had been out with an ankle sprain. And they won their 3rd straight Hendricks County championship. So congrats to the Bulldogs. And then at number 2, it's Lawrence Central. They've been there most of the season, still sitting at 11-1. They do have the 4th best win margin in the state, and they're going to be in the opposite side of the bracket of Lawrence North in the Marion County tournament. And then at number 1, it's Lawrence North, undefeated at 10-0. Picked up that win over Lawrence Central. Tony Perkins, he's looking like maybe a Mr. Basketball candidate. He had a big game, had 12 points in that 3rd quarter that erased an 11-point deficit against Warren Central. And he's averaging 22 points per game. So that's your top 10 for you there, Keith.
I can't argue 5 through 1. I tell you what, Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, that could be the championship game for the county tournament. You got some games to watch, and this county tournament, the whole entire 8 bracket is going to be huge.
Yeah, so that Marion County tournament, definitely going to want to look out for that one. And then also there's another game, Brownsburg at Fishers. That one could be interesting as well. And then we've got a game this week. It's Covenant Christian at Guerin Catholic. That game, there's a lot on the line. First place in the Circle City Conference is at stake.
Yeah, that's good. Should be a big game. And I tell you what, that thing could be sold out. That'll be a fun game. Girls-wise, city tournament's going on. We got a lot of city tournament games in action. And I tell you what, Cathedral and Heritage Christian in the opposite bracket, that could be the championship game for Friday night.
Yeah, we've got a lot of those games, like you mentioned. So those are my games to watch on the girls' side. I believe we have a handful of them, so you can catch all that action on Indiana SRN, and that could be an exciting championship matchup if it does happen.
And if we don't want to talk about basketball, wrestling this Saturday, the Circle City Conference Championship matches on Indiana SRN beginning at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. So if you want to join us for a good time of wrestling with Joe Hansen and Shane Ryder, join us at 9 o'clock on Saturday. Ben, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
As always, Keith, my pleasure.
You bet. And we'll be back with your game right after this.
Giacomo Upper Crust Pizza is a proud sponsor on IndianaSRN.org. Giacomo's 3 locations and convenient hours make it the place to eat before your Friday night game. Come grab a bite in historic Irvington, Old Town Greenwood, or Lawrence, Indiana. They are open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And their menu features delicious pizzas, succulent sandwiches, and fresh garden salads. Be sure to follow them on Twitter at Giacomo Pizza. Giacomo Upper Crust Pizza, proud sponsor of high school sports and Indiana SRN.
You're listening to Indiana SRN, God's Word 24/7, and sports.
Welcome to Scott's Daily Word with Pastor Scott Longyear. Each day, we focus on what God has to say to us through one single word.
Celebrate. Hey, it may be early in the morning while you're listening to this and you're thinking like, man, I'm not in this celebratory mood right now. Or maybe when I say celebrate, you think of Kool and the Gang. Man, that's old school right there. Hey, Leviticus chapter 23 tells us that we're to celebrate. God is laying down some instructions on some annual festivals to the Israelites. And here's what he says over and over again in Leviticus 23. Just in verse 41, he says this: celebrate this as a festival to the Lord for 7 days each year. 7 days of celebration. This is to be a lasting ordinance for generations to come. Celebrate it in the 7th month. God is evidently a God of celebration. And so would you today take some time and celebrate the movement of God in your life? Celebrate.
Looking for more ways to hear from God? Check out ScottLongyear.com.
You're listening to IndianaSRN.org.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons, back at Indianapolis Shortridge High School as Chris is falling off the balcony here at Indianapolis Shortridge High School, where Central Christian has the lead 34-24 as we wind down here in this first half. We'll take a look here at some of the high scores. Elijah Mattingly for Central Christian had 13. The rest of these scores are for the Chargers. Travion Jackson with 7. Elijah Lucas with 5. Tanner Royer with 4. And Caleb Vonderheide and Craig Glazier with 2 apiece. On the other side for Shortridge, Jaden Brookins has 3. Avery Giles has 5. Ethan Powell has 2. Josh Strigger has 3. Alex Ogden has 7. And Will Smith has 4. You've been listening to the Giacomo's Pizza halftime show. It's Giacomo's Pizza is family owned. They've got some delicious upper crust pizza. It is delicious. They have 3 locations. Call 317-986-4545. As we get ready for the second half, Chris, any last second notes here as we hop into half number 2?
Yeah, interesting to see how Central Christian handles the third quarter. In that second, when we started the game, they were 4 of 7 beyond the arc in the first quarter. In that second quarter, they were just 1 of 8, so they really regressed beyond the three-point line, which is what gave them their big cushion in that first quarter. So I'm interested to see if they kind of adjust and shoot maybe less threes, or just kind of lean into it, keep doing what they're doing, and kind of, see if they can start catching fire again from beyond the arc.
An interesting note is, last time we saw Central Christian, it was against that game with Providence Cristo Rey, where Central Christian got off to that bad start. Providence Cristo Rey really took advantage and got up to a big lead. That's kind of what's happened here as well. As first quarter concluded, it was 15-8 as here comes Jaden Brookins with the three off the side of the rim, no good. 15-8 at the end of the first quarter, and Central Christian was able to outscore Shortridge again in the second quarter, but only by a 19-6 clip as Tanner Royer drives in and gets the layup. It is good. 6 points on the night for Royer, but 19-16 Central Christian in that second quarter. So Shortridge did bounce back with a good second quarter. If they can find a way to get some stops defensively, they might be able to get back into this basketball game. As here's Jaden Brookins, who's going to get it over to Powell. Powell pops up for three, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound attempt by Alex Ogden is going to be unsuccessful. It is going to be off of Ogden as it goes out of bounds. Central Christian will now have the basketball, and that's something that Shortridge can't do if they want to get back in this basketball game, and that's just keep chucking threes. Yes, they have had some success, but it's one of those things, once that well has dried up, you can't keep going to it because you're just going to keep falling further and further behind.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why that second quarter kind of went Shortridge's way is, again, that three ball. In the first quarter, Shortridge shot 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. In the second quarter, they were 3 of 6, so an even 50%.
Royer for three, no good. Rebound attempt by Vonderheide. He's trying to get the basketball out. We are going to get a timeout called, which is definitely not the any of the outcomes I thought might have come out of that, as it looked like it could have been a foul on Shortridge, could have been traveling by Vonderheide. Yeah. One of those two, it ends up, or potentially even a jump ball, but instead it's going to be a timeout of the 30-second variety from Central Christian. We'll take that time to remind you that the third quarter is brought to you by PC Pros, website design and internet marketing. Call Derek. No need for a last name. There's only one Derek that works there. Call 765-273-3401, the official web provider for Indiana SRN. Also, we're looking for 1,000 Twitter followers. If you're the 1,000th Twitter follower, you can win a $55 gift card from Aspen Creek Grill. Follow us at Indiana SRN. As Travion Jackson pulls up for two, he misses, rebounded by Shortridge. If you'll recall, the prize was $35 for the gift card for football season, so the prize has been upped. The ante has been upped, so make sure you're our 1,000th Twitter follower, even if it means just following and unfollowing. Just do what you can to support the channel. As going up with the basketball is Mullinax. He can't get the ball to fall. Central Christian now back the other way. Royer with the basketball, drives down low. Nice movement under the rim, gets the ball up off the glass and good. Tanner Royer now with 8 on the night. It's 38-24, Central Christian on top.
Yeah, Royer did a great job there with that reverse layup. Once he got on the baseline, that's an NBA level move, being able to go on that baseline and then hit an easy, make it look easy rather than that reverse layup.
Here's Brookins, thinks about the three, kicks it down low to Ogden. Now over to Mullinax, who gets fouled on his way up. He will get an opportunity to shoot two there. 5:36 to play here in the PC Pros third quarter. It is 38-24 Central Christian over Indianapolis Shortridge here in this Pioneer Conference game. Mullinax, who has not graced the stat sheet yet, will finally do so as he connects on the first free throw. He now is on the board with 1 point on the night. Second shot is up, and it is good.
You know, I've noticed we've got a Demonis Sabonis jersey in the stands here, and now I see a Victor Oladipo one off to the side. I love seeing these Pacer jerseys here.
Tanner Royer up off the glass and good, as Tanner Royer now up into double figures. Now it's good that we don't have a Miles Turner jersey, because as we know, if you look at Pacers Twitter, there's no way they can coexist, even though they have successfully coexist for nearly half the season. As down low is Mullinax, misses the layup, no good, rebounded by Mattingly, who has been just all over the place tonight for the Chargers. Here's Vonderheide, gets the pass. Travion Jackson zigs when he should have zagged. The ball goes out of bounds, and Indianapolis Shortridge will take over.
Yeah, that was a really hard pass there. You know, I like the idea, just the execution wasn't there. There was really no way that pass was going to be completed. It was a little late, and it was a little just hard off the ground. It bounced up really fast and got out of bounds.
Here's Mullinax, back out to Powell. Powell driving down low, back to Mullinax, thinks about the shot. Here's Brookins now as Shortridge tries to get their offense working here. Good ball movement as that was Brookins who left it short there. Mattingly being smothered by the Blue Devil defense, passes it off to Royer, who drives down. He's going to draw the foul. Basket is no good, however.
I really thought Royer was going to find a way to sneak that one in because he has been just red hot in this second half, especially when he's been attacking the basket like that.
You were there for the Lutheran game. I don't know if it happened in that game as well, but this is kind of the situation as he connects on the first free throw to get his 11th point on the game, but didn't get off to the quickest start against Providence Cristo Rey either. He's been a big force, was on the team last year as well, as he connects on the second free throw to give him 12 on the night. But, you know, he kind of the same as the Providence Cristo Rey game where he wasn't really a factor in that first quarter, but it was that second, you know, in the first half, but it was that second half where he really got going. Is we're going to get a 30-second timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here. So, you know, we saw Elijah Mattingly. He had that breakout first half, and now it's Tanner Royer. We've seen it in, you know, I've seen it in the Providence game. You saw it in both the Providence and Lutheran game. I mean, there's just so many ways this Central Christian team can beat you.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about in the pregame, is that there's 4 players on this Central Christian team that are averaging over double digits, with their leader, Travion Jackson, averaging just about 20 points a game, which, again, those are limited numbers, but there's still enough to, you know, warrant concern if you're an opposing team looking at how to beat this Central Christian team. And yeah, so you know you've got, you know, your big weapon there from beyond the arc in Elijah Mattingly in that first half, hit some shots, looked really good, really confident. And then in the second half, you know, you get going downhill, you get Tanner Royer going, and it's just really hard for Shortridge to find an answer at the moment.
Shortridge with the basketball. 4 minutes to play here in the PC Pros third quarter, 42-26. Central Christian on top. Long 2 shot from Mitchell is no good. Here comes Royer on the other end. Mattingly, the 3 ball off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Shortridge. And here come the Blue Devils back the other way, trying to get this offense off the ground here in half number 2, as they just have 2 points here through the early stages of the quarter. On the drive, the ball will be knocked away from Shortridge. It'll go out of bounds. The Blue Devils will retain possession as Craig Glazier rechecks into the ball game for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the aggressiveness on both ends in this third quarter from Central Christian. I was wondering how they would come out after having a bit of a lackluster second quarter.
Here's Molinax down low. Nice job of backing down his defender. He shoots it off the glass and good. His first field goal of the night.
And you know what? Across the board at any level of basketball, that's what you want your big guys to do. Just stand there in the post, get the ball, back your guy down, hit an easy layup.
Glazier with the basketball over to Lucas. Lucas trying to find someone to get the ball to. Here's Royer. Thought about the 3, gets it over to Glazier. Here's Jackson, who's got 7 on the night. He drives down low, kicks out to Royer. Royer wide open for 3, off in and out of the basket. No good. Rebounded by Glazier, who puts it back, and he's good. The first field goal for Craig Glazier on the night as well, as these two teams go toe for toe here.
That's
trading baskets back and forth.
That's just a great basket from Glazier, just going, recognizing and timing it perfectly to go up and get the offensive board, and then to go right back up strong and hit the bucket.
Ogden connects at the other end. He's got 9, the leading scorer for the Blue Devils, as these two teams now just trading baskets. But that's the problem for Shortridge. They need to find some way to create some sort of, you know, defensive momentum as well, as we're going to get a foul on the floor from Jaden Brookins.
See, and that's the right call, but it's just one of those calls that I'm just not a fan of across the board, where the offensive player basically has the right to just drive right into the defender and then use that elbow to also create space and draw the foul. It's the right call by the letter of the law, and it's the way it's called across all levels of this sport, but it's one that is, you know, when you look at it, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Travion Jackson drives the lane. He is going to be fouled and will go to the line. 2:06 to play here in the third quarter, 44-30, Central Christian on top of Indianapolis Shortridge, as that ball is good from Travion Jackson. His 8th point of the game. As Travion Jackson trying feverishly to be the third Charger in double figures on the night.
Feverishly? Is he feeling sick?
I mean, we're up high in the balcony, so I don't know if he's experiencing flu-like symptoms or not. I don't believe so.
I mean, he looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless we've got, an MJ flu game on
Yeah,
our
I was going to say, that's the first thing I thought of, too. As Mitchell drives low, his layup is no good, rebounded by Central Christian. Here comes Elijah Mattingly, who has not scored yet in this second half. Tanner Royer's been the guy as he has the basketball, drives low, gets the foul and the bucket. Went up, contested, defenders draped on him. He lays the ball up and good, and he will go to the line for the old school three-point play, as Tanner Royer has just been a force here in the second half.
Yeah, that's just an amazing effort from Tanner Royer there as he absorbed that contact and, again, was kind of cradling the ball as he went up and just kind of released it and kind of, threw up a shot, and it went in as the free throw is good, and he finishes off the old-fashioned three-point play.
Tanner Royer had 6 points in the first half. He has 9 here in the third quarter, and we still have 90 seconds left in that quarter. 49-30 is the lead for Central Christian over Indianapolis Shortridge. As driving in is Strigger. He's going to have the ball knocked away. Here is Willie Mitchell passing it over to Strigger. Strigger drives pass to Mitchell. A great pass as Mitchell connects there. His first points of the night.
That's just a great dump-off pass as you're already up in the air. You're just kind of making that split-second decision to find your open teammate for an easy layup.
Mattingly with the basketball now, just under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Vonderheide over to Glazier. As Central Christian being patient with what they're looking for offensively here. No need to rush as they have the 17-point advantage in this basketball game. Here's Jackson moving on the perimeter. Gets it over to Vonderheide as the Chargers will be content with getting this one to the fourth quarter, but not Jaden Brookins as he tries to step in, knock the ball free. It'll go over to the other side. We're going to get a foul, on Jaden Brookins as he tried to knock that one away.
Yeah, Brookins, I think, a little disappointed either in the call or himself, or a bit of both, for reaching in and getting called there. But he was so close to making what would have been a great play if he could have poked that one free without fouling. And that could have sparked something in Shortridge here as we wind down the third quarter.
Tanner Royer with the basketball. 10 seconds left, driving in. He's going to float it up and connect. Tanner Royer has had a third quarter, 11 points in this third quarter. Just as a comparison, Shortridge only 8 points as a team in this quarter, as Royer up to 17 on this game. So we've had a foul on Central Christian. Checking into the ball game is Rashawn Ridley.
Yeah, we get a foul with 1.2 seconds left in the quarter at half court. Central Christian's lucky that Shortridge isn't getting free throws out of this, that it's only their second foul of the quarter.
Inbound is to Mitchell. Takes a step, but didn't have enough time to do so. His three ball is off the mark, no good, and we head to the fourth quarter with the score. Central Christian 51, Indianapolis Shortridge 32. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you are always in the game.
At Lawrence Baking Company, we'll provide you with wholesale bakery products on bulk orders. If you have a special occasion coming up, don't worry. You'll get first-rate bakery products at affordable prices. Treat your taste buds by savoring our delicious bakery products that include donuts, Danish pastries, cookies, muffins, pies, and bagels. We also provide delivery services at $3. If you're unable to reach us, our skilled crew will come to you with your order.
Lawrence Baking Company, 317-897-6850.
Hey, Derek here. Please give me just a few seconds to explain why I can help you better than anyone else, guaranteed. I create for you a super fast and responsive client-grabbing website that increases customer acquisition by almost 300%. Your new website will honestly value at over $2,000, and you will get it for a huge and ridiculous discount if you act right now. Contact me today, and let's build something great together.
contact Derek at pcprosllc.com.
You're listening to Indiana SRN.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back at Indianapolis Shortridge as the fourth quarter is underway. The fourth quarter brought to you by Morales Group as we get a double dribble. Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Call 317-472-7600. We have had a representative of Morales Group in the building tonight. He was a referee in that first game. So if you watch the junior varsity game and have a gripe with any calls he made, you know who to call. That number that I just listed for Morales Group. We kid. It's good to see because we talk about, a lot of things that's brought up is the fact that there's, not a lot of the younger generation in officiating as Travion Jackson drives the length of the court, but he's not going to be able to connect on the shot. No good. Shortridge back with the basketball. So it's good to see, the younger generation getting involved in officiating as Vonderheide gets the rebound, gets it to Royer. Royer, who had a great third quarter, continues that momentum here. His 19th point as he connects on the layup. 13 points in the second half. As back the other way, Giles drives down. He's going to have his shot blocked by Elijah Mattingly, who hasn't made an impact as far as the scoreboard's concerned in the second half, but he has still made his presence felt.
Yeah, and that's just like we've talked about, that 3-and-D type player where, you impact the game on both sides of the court, and he has done that with multiple blocks.
Driving in is Mitchell. He misses the layup, rebounded by Striger, who does connect 4-2. 5 points on the night for Josh Striger. And he gets the nice little pickpocket there and comes around and connects again. 7 points for Striger now. As the Blue Devils getting a little bit of momentum here. Here comes Travion Jackson on the other end. Nice move, but can't connect on the shot.
Man, that's two great drives in this quarter by Travion Jackson that he just is unable to finish it off and hit the bucket, but he is fantastic as he pokes it free. Oh, no.
Travion not having the greatest luck this quarter. 2 drives, can't connect on the shot. That time he had the ball wide open on his end of the court and just couldn't get the handle on it. It goes out of bounds.
What a break for Shortridge. And, yeah, Travion Jackson's kind of going to be looking up to the rim. And what do I have to do to, to finish a playoff here in this fourth quarter?
Here's Brookins driving in, and he is going to be called for the travel. They hesitated on the call there. I was like, that is nothing but a travel there. As it was kind of interesting. Brookins brought up 1 foot and then kind of drug the other one.
Yep.
And that is what they will call for the travel.
Yeah, so here in this fourth quarter, get this, both teams coming into this quarter played a really clean game. Central Christian only had 4 turnovers, and Shortridge only had 3 heading into this quarter. In this quarter alone, they have each turned the ball over 3 times.
Ball
Making
gets
4
knocked
now for Central Christian.
Yeah, Striger knocks the ball away as Josh Striger is doing his best to get this Blue Devil team back in the basketball game. Knocked it away from Vonderheide. Vonderheide tried to save it, but was unable to do so, and it goes out of bounds on Central Christian. Pass down low to Ogden, a nice pass into traffic from Brookins, and Ogden is going to draw the foul. So a little bit of life here in Shortridge. We'll see if they can make something out of it. Of course, we saw this in the second quarter as well. The first and third quarters, it's been 32-16 in favor of Central Christian, but in that second quarter, it was 19-16 in favor of Central Christian as well. But we saw that Shortridge team kind of come to life in that second quarter, much like they're trying to do here in the fourth, as Ogden at the line. His first free throw is up, and it is good. 10 points now for Ogden as he's the first Blue Devil to reach double figures.
We'll see if it happens again, but on that first free throw, man, this building got spooky quiet.
Got to break out the master's voice there. Ogden, second free throw is off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Vonderheide over to Mattingly. 5:30 to play here in the fourth quarter, 53-37. Central Christian on top as the shot by Vonderheide connects. He's got 4 on the night for the Chargers as the lead back up to 18, for Central Christian. Nice pass inside to Strigger from Mitchell. Strigger connects, as Josh Strigger has been the lifeblood of this Blue Devil offense here in the fourth quarter. Ball's going to be knocked away on the inbound by Alex Giles. Central Christian will retain possession.
I just want to know where this kind of intensity and hustle was from Shortridge all game, because this fourth quarter they have been playing, you know, like their lives depend on it, like it's 0-0, and they have fought after every ball, and every pass has been crisp.
Royer driving inside. His shot's no good. Rebounded by Shortridge, but you're absolutely right. I mean, they've been more aggressive defensively. Obviously, I mean, you're going to get more aggressive. Here's the three ball is no good from Strigger, but you're going to be more aggressive with a deficit in the fourth quarter. But they had a deficit. They've trailed this entire game pretty much, as we're going to get a defensive foul on Alex Ogden, much to the chagrin of the Shortridge crowd, as it very easily could have been a charge called on Royer there. Nevertheless, though, Royer will go to the line to shoot free throws.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a bang-bang play. That's one of those calls where no matter what the ref calls, you're upsetting half of the fans here. You're gonna, you know, if you call the charge, you're upsetting Central Christian. If you call the blocking foul, you're upsetting Shortridge. So you just have to go with what you saw and what you know and trust your instincts.
Tanner Royer's free throw is an all-around good shot as it goes around the rim once and then drops, as he is now at 20 points on the night. Remember, through the first half of the game, he had 14 in the first 12 minutes here in the second half. Three ball missed from Brookins, rebounded by Ogden, who gets down to Strigger. Strigger up and good. Josh Strigger has been on a mission, 11 points here in this basketball game. And it is a full timeout. We'll go ahead and take it with him. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
Thanks to Ray Marketing for underwriting this sports program on IndianaSRN.org. You can contact Jess at 317-782-0904. Need a uniform, silk screening, even banners? Contact Ray. He's your man. Ray Marketing, 317-782-0904. Or online at raymarketing.com.
Welcome to Corin's Manufactured Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955, located at 9622 Pendleton Pike in Indianapolis. We invite you to take a look at our manufactured homes and all of our wonderful Indianapolis communities by visiting our website, Corin Homes, CORNHOMES.com, and clicking on the community of your interest, CorinHomes.com, or call today at 317-897-1043. Corin's Manufactured Homes.
You're listening to Indiana SRN, God's Word 24/7, and sports.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back in Indianapolis Shortridge, where the score is 58-41. Central Christian over Indianapolis Shortridge with 4:04 to play here in the fourth quarter. Tanner Royer with the basketball. Royer's been absolutely lethal for the Chargers here in the second half, as he's had 14 here in the second stanza of play. Jackson driving down low. Good job by him to drive low. Can't connect on the shot. McCrory tries to get the rebound. It'll go out of bounds on him, and Shortridge will get the basketball back.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact there on Travion Jackson as he went up for that shot. Maybe thought he was going to get the foul. Either way, didn't finish the play and get the shot to fall, and Shortridge will take over again, down 17.
Here's Brookins, who pops up for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Royer. He's going to get a nice pass. It's going to be knocked away, though, by Shortridge. Powell tries to go behind his back. McCrory's going to be right there to take over for the Chargers. Here's Vanderhyde at the free throw line. Takes the shot. Misses, no good. Jackson's going to have his shot blocked by Brookins. McCrory trying to get the ball back. He's going to be called for the foul, I believe, as McCrory basically had Powell fall basically right into his lap as he wasn't facing towards the basket, trying to shake his man off the ball, and he turns around and the basketball's right there, tries to react to it, ends up drawing the foul. Here's Shortridge now with the basketball, still trailing by 17 points here with 3 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Three from Mitchell is good as Willie Mitchell connects his 5th point on the night.
And that's the first 3 for either team that is connected in the second half.
Jackson, a nice putback shot. It is up and good. Travion Jackson now with 11. He's the 3rd Charger to breach double digits in this one. As Central Christian tries to get their winning streak to 3 in a row, as they have caught their stride here as we get closer and closer through the month of January. Tournament time right around the corner. Nice move by Strigger to shake the defenders. Goes up for 3, misses. Royer with the rebound.
I think that was one of those threes you don't expect to get that open off of your dribble move. And I think he was just kind of in his head. That's why he didn't finish the shot.
Mattingly for 3. No good. Rebounded by Jackson. He's going to have his shot blocked. Here comes Mitchell the other way, trying to make something happen. He's going to force the pass into traffic. Central Christian gets it back. Royer the shot, and it is going to go. Oh, they're going to have a goaltend. It's going to be a good basket, though, from Royer, as that's just the kind of second half Tanner Royer has had, as he was basically falling down, puts the shot up, and it connects.
Yeah, somehow that thing spun around once, looked like it was going to pop back out, which is why I think Shortridge jumped up for the rebound, and then as it was falling back in, they pulled on the net, and that's where you get the interference call.
Here's Brookins for 3, connects.
Yep.
And we are going to get a full timeout. Did they call that a 3 or a 2? Because the announcer said 2, but it is going to be
it should be a 3.
So it'll now be 6 points for Brookins. We'll go ahead and take this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
Today's games brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650. You're listening to Indiana SRN, God's Word 24/7, and sports.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back at Indianapolis Shortridge. Want to help us put more games on the World Wide Web? We're looking for sponsors. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Be a part of the Indiana SRN team. Remember, you have to spell it in all caps for coach at indianasrn.org. As Central Christian wins the basketball, driving in. We're going to get a foul on Jaden Brookins. 1:33 to go here in this basketball game. Central Christian with the 62-47 lead over Indianapolis Shortridge. As Travion Jackson goes to the line, he's got 11 on the night so far, as it has just been a complete game from Central Christian. They've been crisp on defense. They've been good offensively as Travion Jackson misses from the free throw line, as the Chargers look for their 3rd straight win. Shortridge staring down the barrel of their 8th straight loss as Elijah Lucas goes down, tries to get a shot to go. He's going to have the ball knocked away, rebounded by Vonderheide. Vonderheide trying to break it free. And after about 5 minutes of both Vonderheide and Brookins tangling over the basketball, we're going to get the jump ball call. And so now Shortridge will have the basketball back with 1:12 to go here in play. As here is Willie Mitchell. Gets the ball to Brookins. Brookins, crossover move, now drives in. Floater in the lane, no good. Rebounded by Mattingly. Mattingly with the basketball back. Gets it over to Vonderheide. Vonderheide across the half-court stripe. We're going to get a reach-in foul on Strigger here, as Josh Strigger, who has been the bright spot for Indianapolis Shortridge, as he has been really good defensively. He's hit the threes. He's been able to find open shots. So Josh Strigger has really found a way to keep this Shortridge team afloat.
Yeah, and he's just played with a different level of intensity, here in the second half, as much of this Shortridge team has.
Vonderheide connects as we get some substitutions in for Indianapolis Shortridge. The 8-game losing streak for Shortridge will be their longest since the 2017-28 season, where they lost 9 straight games. As Vonderheide, second free throw up and no good. Jackson trying to get the basketball back on the rebound, knocks it out of bounds. Shortridge will retain possession as we get some substitutions on the Central Christian side as well.
That's one of those plays where I feel like if it's anybody but Travion Jackson, he probably holds it. But for whatever reason here in this fourth quarter, Travion Jackson has done all the right things, but it's just not being rewarded with it.
Shot no good from number 14. That's someone who is not on the roster either. Might be Michael Beasley, who's number 11 on our roster.
Yeah, but they're going to give him 3 free throws for that since it was a 3-point shot when he was fouled.
First free throw up and no good. Yeah, it seems as if Travion Jackson's kind of been the sacrificial lamb in this game. Like, hey, you know what? You're gonna get your double digits. It's gonna be good for everybody, but just for whatever reason, whatever you do isn't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's making all the right plays. He's cutting off the passing lanes. You know, he's still putting in this effort. He's acting like his team's down 15, not up 15, and he's just not getting rewarded with it. He's not getting the rolls off the rim, and he's not securing rebounds or turnovers rather.
Beasley connected on one of the free throws, rebounded and put back in by Elias Diallo. As it's now 63-50, 22 seconds left. Travion driving in. Tanner Royer now with the basketball as Tanner Royer put on an absolute show in the second half. He's going to dribble it out to the midcourt stripe as Central Christian will wind this one down. 8 seconds to play, and this game has reached its conclusion. Final score from Indianapolis Shortridge, Central Christian 63, the Indianapolis Shortridge Blue Devils 50. We'll come back with the post-game show as we will break down this one. You're listening to Pioneer Conference Basketball on IndianaSRN.org, where you're always in the game.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
Hi, I'm Bill Goodrich, president of Horizon University. Are you interested in completing your college degree from a Christ-centered, biblically integrated, and fully accredited university? In associate and bachelor degree programs designed for students to excel in their professions as they win and disciple others for Christ in business and ministry. For a theologically sound, affordable, and accredited college institution, visit horizonuniversity.edu and start earning your degree. Excellent teaching today for the leaders of tomorrow.
Life Centers offers love and compassion to all women and men who come through our 8 centers. The goal of this love and compassion is that we would not only save babies from abortion, but also transform lives and create families. The forms of this love and compassion are our services. All of our services are offered free of charge to our clients. To learn more about Life Centers, contact us at lifecenters.com or call us at 317-280-2635. Life Centers. We choose compassion.
Time was that greed, yes, greed and selfish views seemed the fashion. Men in high places abandoned values that are the foundation and stability of America. I say time is for America to change. Time is for men to measure up. Freemasonry believes a man's greatness can be measured, not by his wealth or fame, but by his deeds, his character, his love for his fellow creatures. In this time of great hope, America needs great men to step forward. So is there greatness in you? Ask.
MillersvilleLodge.org.
Craving comfort, fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium Black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
We're building those futures here. If you're about building better futures one story at a time, come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Looking for some home repair? Maybe new drywall, some painting? Give our friends a call at Amazing Drywall, 317-339-2672. Tim Seats has been in business for 5 years. A Christian man? Give him a call. Amazing Drywall, 317-339-2672. It's Amazing Drywall. They're proud sponsors of Indiana SRN and God's Word 24/7. Amazing Drywall.
Thanks to Rick McIntyre and McIntyre Imaging for their support of Christian radio and sports. Their service is capturing moments in time and images that provide a record of the celebrations, blessings, and gifts the Lord has given. McIntyre Imaging Products gives their clients a snapshot of life for family and future generations. You may reach Rick and his staff at McIntyre Imaging at www.mcintyreimaging.com.
Having an electrical problem? Berkner Electric has your solution. We provide professional residential and commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. With more than 30 years of experience, we have a reputation for safety, excellence, and competitive pricing. We are fully licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Electrical work can be shocking, so leave that problem to the pros at Berkner Electric. Call for a free estimate, 317-773-7663.
You're listening to Indiana SRN.
Craig Collins, Chris Simmons back at Indianapolis Shortridge, where the Blue Devils fall for their 8th straight time to Central Christian. Central Christian getting the win 63-50 in a game where Central Christian basically dominated from the tip-off. They got out to a great first quarter, led 15-8. It was a hotly contested second quarter, as at the break it was a 34-24 lead for Central Christian, as fighting back was Shortridge. They had a very, they played the end of the half very lively, were able to get back in the game, but then 17-8 in that third quarter again. So in the first and third quarters, it was 32-16. So Central Christian basically doubling the score of Shortridge in the first and third quarters. But as the halves wore on, that's where Shortridge got better. Shortridge actually outscored Central Christian in the second and fourth quarters of tonight's basketball game. But it was a game where Central Christian just got ahead early, played strong basketball. Elijah Mattingly did a great job in the first half, got 13 points for himself, got a couple of three-pointers, and in the second half played really well defensively as well. Tanner Royer woke up in that second half. It was a tale of two halves as far as who was scoring the basketball. It was Elijah Mattingly in the first half. It was Tanner Royer in the second half, and it was just Central Christian playing well in all phases of the game, and Central Christian gets to their third win in a row as they improve to 7-4 on the season. Looking at the scoring for these two teams, it was Tanner Royer with 22 points. He led all scorers on the night, led Central Christian as well. Elijah Mattingly had 13. 11 points from Travion Jackson, 5 points from Caleb Vonderhyde, 4 points from Craig Glacier, and 5 points from Elijah Lucas. On the other side for Shortridge, Josh Strigger rallied to lead all scorers for Shortridge. with 11 points. Alex Ogden had 10. Jaden Brookins had 6. Avery Giles and Willie Mitchell both had 5. Will Smith had 4. Elias Diallo and Ethan Powell both had 2. With the team stats, here's Chris Simmons.
Yeah, so, when you look at the team stats, you kind of mentioned it was a tale of two halves, especially for Central Christian and who was scoring the ball, but it really wasn't a tale of two halves as a team scoring the ball. In the first half, Central Christian shot a total from the floor of 46%. In the second half, they shot 48% for the game. You average 46 and 48, you're going to get right in the middle of those. You're at 47% from the floor. So as a team, if you're shooting from the floor 47%, that's just incredible. That is a well-oiled offensive machine, and that's what Central Christian was tonight. They looked really good. The interesting thing for me when you look at Central Christian is how the three-point line came into play. In the first quarter, they were 4 of 7 for 57%. In the second quarter, they were just 1 of 8 for 13%. In the third quarter, they were 0 of 3 for obviously 0%, and then they did not attempt one in that fourth quarter when the game was in hand. So, the three-point shot kind of got away from them, which can be troublesome if you want to look at it that way, but I choose to look at it as an adjustment that they made once they started realizing that, hey, you know what, the three ball's not falling for us anymore. That well has run dry. Let's find another way. And I think that's when Tanner Reuter kind of took over, one of the bigger guys on this team who, likes to just drive the paint and get those layups and hit and absorb that contact, go to the line and hit shots, and doing whatever he can for his team. So a great offensive attack from Central Christian. And then when you go over to the Shortridge side of things, it doesn't look as good offensively. There's a couple of spots, where they just kind of fell apart offensively and couldn't go toe-to-toe with the high offensive attack of Central Christian in that first quarter. They shot 27% from the floor, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, and 3 of 8 from inside of the arc for 38%. And then in the first half, they shot 32% as a team. In that second half, when they kind of rallied and got back into a rhythm and got it, kind of started to chip into that deficit a little bit more, they did shoot for that second half 39% from the floor. They hit a couple of threes as well, but they really were more efficient inside of the arc. They were 8 of 17 for 47%, so just about half of their shots from inside of the three-point line fell. And, if they were able to be in that rhythm all game, this game could have been a different story. But, I really want to tip my cap to Shortridge for shooting so well from the free throw line. Through the first 3 quarters, they did not miss a free throw. They were perfect. They were 7 of 7 going into the fourth quarter. In that fourth quarter, they did miss some free throws. They were 2 of 5, but they still ended up shooting to Shortridge, and there was multiple times where you just kind of saw Central Christian out of position or not attacking for the rebound. They were waiting on the ball to come to them, and that's where Shortridge, in that second half were able to spark some second offensive points. Is they were the ones aggressively attacking those rebounds on both ends of the floor. So I think if you're Central Christian, that's something, if you're Coach Bobby Brown, I think that's something that you would address with your team sooner rather than later. And even though, you won this game relatively handily, there's definitely still room for improvement. So, but a well-fought game, I think Shortridge is better than their record. I still believe that. They looked better than a 2-win team so far in the year. And I think they just ran into a really tough offensive opponent tonight in Central Christian.
Central Christian improves to 7-4 on the season now in the on the pace of a 3-game winning streak. Their next contest, they'll actually get 10 days off before they play basketball again, and then they'll play a back-to-back against Faith Christian and then go on the road against Park Tudor. And then for Indianapolis Shortridge, they fall to 2-10 on the season. It'll be their 8th straight loss as they're on their longest losing streak since the 2017-18 season, where they lost 9 straight. Chris, one final thought. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I forgot to mention. Indianapolis Shortridge, their next game is at Indianapolis, Washington. That is going to be on Friday night. So they'll have a chance to actually get ready to go on a 4-game road trip. So, not a kind schedule to try to get out of that 8-game losing streak, but they will try to do so here on Friday. Chris, final thoughts about tonight's game?
Yeah, final thoughts. Just, again, Shortridge better than their win-loss record. I think they're a solid team. They played well in that second half. I think they just needed to get out to a better start. They really needed to play with the intensity that we saw late in the game when it was earlier in the game. I think if they had played with that, if they had been able to play with that kind of intensity and hit those shots, it could have been a completely different ballgame. For Central Christian, just a really efficient game from start to finish. There's a couple blemishes here and there, but no team is going to be perfect for a long period of time. And what I really liked was the team mindset to adjust. As they started to realize that three-point shot was no longer falling, they adjusted and hit Shortridge a number of different ways. That's what we talked about in the pregame, that they've got 4 different guys and some more that can hurt you and hit a lot of shots in a lot of different places. So a really, well-played game from Central Christian. But again, the rebounding was a bit worrisome tonight for me. I think they just kind of were they let that kind of lapse, that part of their game lapse tonight, and you can't do that. Come tournament time, those second chance points and those rebounds could be the difference between winning and losing in tournament time. So that needs to be something I feel like needs to be addressed.
Our final score, one more time, from Indianapolis Shortridge. It is a final score of Central Christian 63, Indianapolis Shortridge 50 on tonight's basketball game. Our next broadcast is going to be that January 24th contest against Faith Christian, so make sure to tune into that one. We'll see you then. For Chris Simmons, I'm Craig Collins saying good night and have a good rest of your week.